Hey everybody, RC here. Let's talk a little bit about Clone Source and how it works. I'm going to click on File and I'm going to click on Open, and I'm going to open these 4 images that I have here. So 4 different images, and I want to include them in one image. So I'm going to click on File and New. I'll go ahead and make an 8.5 by 11 at 150. Click OK. And what I want to do is I want to take this and fill it with a solid color of black. So that's my background, and I'm going to create a new layer. So I'm set to start cloning stuff. And general cloning winds up working pretty straightforward, right? So we can click on this clone tool, and we know that if we hold down the Alt key and we click in this one area, we can sample this point, and we can come over here and we can kind of paste that in. Got to be careful with the multiple mouse clicks there. So it's pretty straightforward. Now, if I wanted to be able to clone from something else like this, I'd have to hold down the Alt key and click on this, then come back and paint into this. However, the Clone Source tool offers a better way to be able to do this in that it lets you sample from multiple points. Now, let me show you how it works. I'm going to click on the first point here, and then I'll come over to this document. I'm going to hold down the Alt key. I shall make this a little smaller, and I'll click and release. Notice that it keeps the name there. So I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to come to the next one, and now I want to be able to clone with this. And what I can do is I can click on that section there. Actually, before I do that, let me go ahead and bring that other one back up. I'll hold on the Alt key and I'll click here. Now I'll move to the next clone source that's not in use. I'll minimize this, I'll hold on the Alt key, and I'll click on the second one. So now notice the first one is 01, this is 03. I can minimize this one and go to the next one. Click on the next source point. I want from this part forward this way, so that's the next point. It keeps the X, it keeps the Y, and it keeps the scaling of this. I can minimize this. I'm going to come back to this guy here, and I'm going to alt click. Oh, let's go ahead and move to the next point and alt click on the center. So it keeps the X and Y coordinates of that, so everything looks good. Now that I have that set, I'm back at this document, and what I can do is I can change my brush sizes here, and I can sample from any of these points rather than bringing those other windows up. So I can go to the first point and then make my brush bigger and click, and there's one picture. A little small though. So what I can do is I can undo. If I want, I can change this perspective up to about 400%. And now watch, if I wind up clicking here, it's a much bigger one. Now an even better question would be, how big is big? Or how can you see what you're doing here? Let's say that I make this 300. How do I know what's going to happen here? Show Overlay will help out with that. If you click on Show Overlay, it does an overlay of the image, and notice that the image moves based on what I wind up doing with my brush. If I click on Aligned, it doesn't. I'm going to uncheck this, and what I'll do is I'll just click right there, just kind of come down and brush this in. Once I'm done, I can unclick the Show Overlay. I can move to the next one and now click on the next graphic. If I show the Show Overlay, it can show me what that graphic is going to look like when I wind up clicking there. So what I can do here is just kind of move that in there and then hide that Show Overlay. I can go ahead and create a new layer and go to the next one. If I need to be able to see what it's going to do, I can go ahead and just put myself into one section and trace that in. Now it doesn't look so good. I could always come back over here and just change my scaling. Now I can come back, and if I like this one section there, I can go ahead and click and drag. Not bad. Make the fourth one, click on the last one. I'll show my overlay. As it's a big image that's there, I can go ahead and make this, let's say, 80% on the center there. And what I'll do is just kind of paint that in. And then I'll hide the show overlay. So you have a composite of a series of things. Maybe that one was a little too much. I can go ahead and drag this all the way down. And I can play with the composition for these by just hiding and showing specific layers. But the good part about it is it just allows you to be able to create some interesting combinations by sampling all of these in one spot. With a couple of different text boxes that we just added and some color treatments that we wind up doing for stroking on these boxes, we were able to come up with a convenient catalog cover for this, all using Type and the all-new Clone Source tool. I'm RC. Thanks for watching.